All right, good evening, friends. I'm Stephen Benoon. You are watching Fact News Network, and that's a provocative title, no doubt. Those of you that happen to be tuning in right now here on Fact News Network, a very provocative title. The Mahadi is here. Listen, we know good and well Mahadi is no Jesus Christ. He's not the Messiah by no stretch of the imagination. But you know what's interesting, after a situation that went a little bit south over on another channel that you guys are familiar with, that we have been a major part of over the years, that channel got taken down, suspended for a week. It has been appealed though. I don't know how that'll go, but at any rate, if you mentioned anything truthful about the things that are happening over in a certain country there, just north of Jerusalem, then if it was truthful, you were taken down. We know that Adam over there on No More News, he was removed as well for speaking the truth about things that he was sharing. But yet it was interesting though, is all the puppets out there, the puppets that are part of the globalist agenda, they were very quick to say this was all propaganda. Everything that's being stated about what was really truthful over there was all propaganda. Well, those of you that already know where you can go find out the truth during this time of suspension, we'll just say INL, and you know that source where you can find it out. There is another video with unbelievable evidence that is going to prove that these channels that are telling you the truth are dead on. And I think that there are certain people, such as President of the United States and others, that are probably being reprimanded for spilling the beans, because it was never intended for this information to get out. Let me share with you, though. We had a little briefing this morning, and that briefing brought some very interesting information I want to share with you here. That is the reason for the title of this video. And this was in response to the current situation that is happening over there in Lebanon. And so this briefing comes directly out of that little odd-shaped building up there in Washington, D.C. You know the one we're talking about, not quite a square. Kind of got some weird looking size. Doesn't really look like a stop sign either, but you know, kind of mix the two together, maybe you get the right idea. We're being a little bit more cautious, I guess you can tell. But anyway, this is what was said to me this morning. What I can say is that there is a plan being executed in the Middle East. It is to have each sect blame the other in order to create the baseline for potential civil war between each other. Arab versus Arab, sect versus sect. I don't know what physicality entity is responsible for this plan. I guess you could probably see the individual gets away with making that statement because you could say that and not know specifically the name of the individual, but I am sure they're very much aware of what country was behind it. The purpose of which is, now here's the purpose. The purpose of which is to create extreme tension. So that's an admission from that little odd-shaped building in Washington, D.C., that this situation in Lebanon was created for extreme tension. When enough tension has been achieved, a leader will be introduced who helps avert civil war between the sects. By the way, when you talk about the sects, that's not just limited to that country. That's also in Syria, between the Druze community now that is rising up against Bashar al-Assad and his government. That is also in Iran, the religious faction versus those that the generals that are more loyal to the way Iran used to be before it became a very strong Shiite nation. And now, of course, in Lebanon, of course, in Yemen, all these different places that are going on, they're creating all these tensions all over the world. So now we have the admission, the purpose of which is to create extreme tension. That's what Lebanon was for. When enough tension has been achieved, a leader will be introduced who helps avert civil war between the sects. I have been told that this person, the Mahadi, has already been identified some time ago, but only waiting for the stage to be set. The Mahadi is here. So for the Arabic friends that may be listening in, you didn't know that your Mahadi was here, did you? But I just find it interesting is that he is identified. Very much like what we see in Israel, where a lot of the papers there are saying that the Messiah is already here. You know, I remember Yehuda Glick meeting with over in Turkey with this one cleric over there, pretty radical guy there, but he was for Israel, for the building of the third temple, etc. And he always thought he was the Mahdi. I've wondered if that's their candidate, but I don't know. I don't really know. I say that because so many different Israelis have met with him. The Pope approved of this guy, etc. I forget his name right offhand, but I'll have to look that up for you and maybe come back and talk about that some more. Anyway, listen, share the broadcast here far and wide if you can. And by the way, if you happen to check out Patreon, you're going to be very surprised. I don't even want to show it on the screen here. I don't even want to show it on the screen. Oh, by the way, though, for those of you that want to know, INL is now on DLive. I'll put in the description below for you the link for this. Realize that other channel that got suspended, we figure we better use a little bit of intelligence there and figure out a way to go live without being censored to death. Adam over there at Marfugel is going to said he would help us out to learn this. I'm going to just watch some YouTube videos. We're at 202 people right now, so definitely jump in there with us. dlive.tv/INL is the site to go to. And also don't forget, if you're here, you don't know about Danun Institute on YouTube, definitely subscribe there. That's where our biblical teachings normally go. We don't do them very, very often because a lot of stuff gets shared on INL anyway. But we will take and step that up a bit. So hopefully this weekend I'll be able to do that. So just so you know where that's at as well. There you are, Danun Institute, about 36,000 people there. So join us over there, and we will also be doing our teachings there as well. Tell your friends to resubscribe to that channel that's being suspended right now. We will, like I said, let's drive the powers that be nuts, so that they see that just because you try to inflict damage doesn't mean it works. I'm Stephen Ben Hoon with Fact News Network. Thank you for watching.